Administration classifies a small business as an enterprise that consists of less than 500 employees. That means 99% of the businesses in the United States are considered a small business. Of the 33 million small businesses out there, 32 million have less than 20 employees. In fact, 27 million have no employees at all. Shout out to all you one-man armies out there. If you own or are involved in an enterprise such as this show is for you. Welcome to the Time Wealthy Advantage. Today, let's talk about gratitude.
At this time, I'm going to ask you to fasten your seatbelts.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Time Wealthy Advantage. It's good to see you today. It is a bright, beautiful, sunny day out there here in the Midwest, and I hope you are enjoying the same weather we are here because, man, it has last week reminded us that Mother Nature is fully in charge. So hopefully you're enjoying some of this sunny weather. So let's talk about gratitude. Gratitude and an achievement journal. This is really the topic of like why gratitude. Like first of all, we're this whole idea. I guess my slides are a little out of order, but first of all, why gratitude? Like I love having a gratitude and achievement journal, and we're going to talk about specifically why that's so important because it all goes back to mindset. And I know there's a lot of coaches out there, and I did a video on that, I believe yesterday or the day before, about the difference between coaches and professors and mentors. And there's a lot of coaches out there that talk about mindset, right? And this specifically dials in to mindset, this mindset piece. So why gratitude? First of all, I love having a gratitude and achievement journal for the purpose of of writing down the things that I'm actually grateful for. And you might think, well, that's kind of a silly exercise. Why are you actually doing that? Well, the reason why, and first let's start to specifically talk about why gratitude. All right, we'll come back to achievement here in a second. First of all, why gratitude? Well, here's the thing. Has anybody out there, and go ahead and feel free to comment, has everybody ever had one of those days that just turned to crap early? It just never seemed to get better, right? Of course, we all have. Like it's 9 o'clock and you're like, oh my gosh, all of this crap has already gone wrong. What else can go wrong today? And it's just by 10:30 and it's just more and more crap just keeps seeming to stack up. And by 2:30, you're like ready to go home and change your name and hide under your bed, right? By 5 o'clock, mercifully comes along and you're just like, oh my gosh, can this day end finally, right? Well, here's the thing. And what I have noticed, at least this is just true for me, and maybe you might notice this to be true for you. But one of the things that I have noticed for me is that sometimes when something bad happens, right, there's this external stimulus. And I'm feeling, and it's really hard to kind of see the bright side of the equation on that. Like, okay, yeah, it happened. Here it is, whatever. And it really just sets me down in this really dark, bad path of really just like it, whatever it was. And it may not even have been something like really egregious. So maybe you just banged your shin on something on the coffee table on the way out of the house, and it just set in motion just a series of feelings that you're going to have that you're going to carry with you for the rest of the day. So no matter what seems to happen after that, it just seems to like just snowball out of control, right? Of course, we've all had days like that. There's days where I've like left the house and like didn't brush my teeth and it just felt weird the rest of the day. I'm like, you know what? I've got to go brush my teeth because this just didn't seem right, right? It just started me down this path of thought that just derailed the rest of my day, right? Or a day maybe where you forgot to put on deodorant or something weird like that, right? But this is where something bad has happened and it's really caused this this bad train of thought to continue and to perpetuate for the rest of the day, right? And it's easy, if you're not careful, for that to perpetuate into the next day and the next day. And next thing you know, you've had like the worst week of your life. And then you're like, oh my gosh, next week can't be any worse than this, right? This is why it's always nice to have a pattern interrupt where you have like a day off, right, to take a break from this stuff. But I'm about to tell you something that has been really, really helpful for me, right? This is about being and really forcing myself into gratitude. And you might think, well, shouldn't you just not force yourself into gratitude? Just follow me here for just a second. So what happened? There was one particular day where everything I touched just turned to crap, and it doesn't really matter what, because I just kind of actually largely put that out of my head. But like, I locked my keys in my car. I actually locked myself out of a rental property that I was in. I mean, everything turned to crap, and everything where I was going, everything like what should have taken only 10 minutes took like an hour. Right? We've all had days like that. It was about 9:30, and I said, "You know what? I need to put a stop to this right now. I need a pattern interrupt, right? I need to interrupt this pattern of negative thought or just negativity that's going on in my life." So I literally pulled over my car. I pulled into a parking lot. And for the next 5 minutes, and I literally set an alarm. For the next 5 minutes, I shouted out things that I was grateful for, right? And I literally, and I mean, I'm grateful. Of course, people go to the standard. Well, I'm grateful for God and freedom and apple pie and my wife, and like, of course, and again, not to the exclusion of that, but I started shouting out all these different things that I was grateful for, which was like, I'm grateful for the brakes on my car. I'm grateful for grasshoppers. I'm grateful for grass. I'm grateful for rain. I'm grateful for the blue sky. I'm grateful for clouds. I'm grateful for trees. I'm grateful for all of these different things and seemingly random and ridiculous things, right? But if we didn't have all these things, think of what our life might actually look like, right? A world without bees, a world without flowers, a world without the smell of honeysuckle, right? All of these different things that you can be grateful for, right? So I literally just for 5 minutes just shouted out, and I set an alarm. I just shouted all these things out, just kept going and going and going until I was almost winded from just from thinking of all these different things. And finally got mercifully my alarm went off. And guess what? I felt amazing. Why is that? Because all of that crap that I was dragging around with me, that was all stuff that happened in the past. Think about it for just a second. Where does gratitude live? Gratitude forces you to be present in that exact moment. You it brings you to the present. It forces you to be absolutely present and not worry about anything that happened in the past or anything that you might be walking into in the future. It forces you to be incredibly present. Very, very powerful. And I love doing that. And there's just times I'll do that throughout the day where I'll just stop and literally for 60 seconds set an alarm so like it's really going to force you to get as many things out as you possibly can, right? Let's contrast that a little bit to achievement. Now, why achievement? For those of you who are small business entrepreneurs out there, and I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs or people who aren't entrepreneurs yet that maybe want to be that watch this show. Look, here's the reality. As an entrepreneur, a small business owner, you barely get the sigh of relief out from one thing that happens and until the next thing happens, right? Anybody out there relate to that? Look, that was my life for years and years and years and years and years, and it never seemed like, hey, how are things going? I'm like, oh, grinding along, but I would never stop to celebrate my achievements. Look, if you're in business to be celebrated, I'm telling you, you're going to wait a really long time in between those celebrations because they just won't come. So it's really important that you write down your achievements. Look, maybe it's about you read a book. Maybe it's just you parked the car really well that day. I don't know, but find an achievement that you can celebrate, even if it's just something small, right? Maybe you paid off a bill. Maybe you paid off a certain loan, right? Easy to forget when you get caught up in all of this constant doing. And I will tell you now, the way that I keep this right now, let me just point this out. Why journal this? Well, because again, it's easy to forget all of the things that we might be grateful for and all the achievements that we're stacking up in the year. So how do I do this? Well, generally in the gratitude and achievement journal, what I will do is literally go buy a journal that you can get at the supermarket, pick out the last 10 pages or so to cordon off, to separate, to consecrate as my achievement journal. And that you only need maybe 5 or 10 pages, right? And then the first, you're going to have the 100 or so pages in the front that you can write down every day 5 random things that you are grateful for, right? And start out your day every day writing in that gratitude journal. And then when your achievements come along, something noteworthy, something that you're proud of, something that you want to remember, write that in your achievement journal. Why is this? Here's the thing, because the gray days will come. The gray days always come. And when you can look back at that gratitude journal, and you can look back at that achievement journal, and you can look back at those things that you are grateful for, it forces you to be present. And when you can look at the things that you've actually achieved in that year or in that quarter or whatever it is, the things that you've achieved year to date, or even in previous years, man, that is one of the best gifts that you can ever give to yourself. So it sounds really difficult, right? But I'm going to explain to you right now why you won't do this. You might go, yeah, this is a great idea. I'm going to shut the video down and promptly not do it, right? Here's the problem, because it's easy to do. And something that's easy to do is also what? Easy not to do. So this is the reason. So do this for yourself. If you're a small business entrepreneur, or even want to be a small business entrepreneur, or even if you're not, this is a great life hack that you can get into a habit of doing. Do this every single day for yourself, and I promise you, you will see the benefits of it in a very short period of time. So that is all I have for today, folks. So it was interesting. Earlier today, I got talking to a guy today. I got talking to a guy today who was set to be one of the world's best mountain climbers, but he peaked too early. Dad jokes. Hashtag dad jokes. All right. Thanks for watching. Remember, we are here to get you a time wealthy advantage. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
On behalf of the flight crew, thank you for flying with us and have a pleasant day.